Okay, good morning and good afternoon, everybody. I'd like to express my warm welcome to all of you for attending this webinar. My name is Michael Peterson, the Senior Consultant from Sears Medical Device team. It is a very pleasure to give this presentation on specifically know how to determine the classification of med device in China. During the webinar, if anyone has some emergency and has to leave, you can contact me to ask for the presentation later. And for any questions raised in the webinar, you can leave the message in the dashboard or you can send an email to us. We will respond to you as soon as possible. Okay, this presentation will focus on 4 parts, which are overview of CFDA regulations on medical device classification, and the practical advance on how to classify your med device in China and how to handle when classification of your device changed. And last is the easy direction to use CMDRD. Before starting our topics, I'd like to give an explanation on why we take this webinar. That means why classification is so important to us. Different classification result has a dramatic influence on our products. It is embodied from 3 aspects, which are duration, cost, and supervision. Take duration for example. CFDA has a mandatory review period for different classified products. For Class 1, it is 20 business days. For Class 2 med device, the period is 93 business days. And for Class 3, it's 123 business days. Moreover, for some submission package, much more doses will be required to prove the safety and effectiveness of your device when you register with higher classification level. The most important is product testing and the clinical trial. For Class 1 products, you don't need to do any testing or any clinical trial, but for Class 2 products, they have to do their testing in CFDA qualified labs, and some are even required to do the clinical trial. And for products Class 3 med device, they not only have to do the product testing, but also most of them are required to do the clinical trial. Everyone knows that the testing and the clinical trial essentially cost a lot and take quite a long time. Also, for the administrative fee, CFDA had issued fixed fees for imported medical device registration. For Class 1, the registration is free, but for Class 2, it's charged for the 210,000 RMB, and for Class 3 it's charged for 300,000 RMB. So it's not a small fee. Also, different classification will be faced with different supervision intensity. It is easy to understand that products with higher classification will be managed much more strictly. Okay. Following, we will have an overview of the CFDA regulations on med device classification. The introduction will be followed by 5 subsections. 1 is the definition of medical device in China. 2nd is the risk-based classification, and the 3rd is to read the CFDA category code of medical device, and the 4th is to read the CFDA registration license. The last is the latest updates on CFDA classification regulations in 2015. Medical devices in China are defined as any instruments, apparatus, appliance, material, in vitro diagnostic reagents, and the calibration substance and other similar substance and related articles, including the needed computer software. Its main effectiveness is achieved by the physical ways and so on. It does not achieve its principal action in or on the human body by means of the pharmacology, immunology, or metabolism, but which may be assisted in this function by such means, the use of which is to achieve the following intended purpose. the diagnosis, prevention, the monitoring, treatment, or elevation of disease, or the diagnosis, monitoring, treatment, elevation of or compensation for injury or handicap conditions. Also for the investigation, replacement, or modification for anatomy or physiology process. Also for the life support or maintenance, and the control of conception, or the last offers information for medical or diagnosis purposes while inspecting the human samples. The definition of medical device in China is quite new because they are just issued by CFDA on June 1st, 2014. And compared with the last definition of medical device issued on 2000, the new definition was undoubtedly expanded a lot. We can compare them from this table. The new definition and add the in vitro diagnostic reagents and the calibration substance into the medical device. And very clearly point out that the medical device had achieved its effectiveness while physical ways, as well as adding new intended purpose of medical device, including the life support or maintenance, and including the offer information for medical device or diagnosis purpose while inspecting the human samples. From the new definition, we can see the future tendency. CFDA is going to include more and more products into medical device. This is also because more and more people paid attention to their health. According to CFDA regulations, medical devices managed in China are classified into 3 classes in terms of the risk level, to ensure their safety and effectiveness. Class 1 medical devices are devices with the low risk. The safety and the effectiveness of the device can be issued through the general control. Class 2 medical devices are devices with a medium risk. Then strict controls are required to ensure the safety and effectiveness of the device. Class 3 medical devices are with great risk. Special controls are required to ensure the safety and effectiveness of the device. The risk level here is evaluated by the intended purpose, structural features, intended for use, and use methods of the medical device. Here we go, the CFDA category code of medical device. This is a very important section to help you understand better of medical device management in China. Since a lot of people have asked what this code stands for, so we will go just maybe one by one in this section. CFDA draw about this unified category code to achieve the standard and informational management of the medical device. We can see the 68 stands for the medical device in China. It's a medical device code. So all medical device will be marked as a 68 first. And the last 2 numbers stands for the category code. Okay, here we will have very quick of the category code. And you guys can also have a quick look of these contents and keep a deeper mind of what you want to know. Here we go, the The 6801 stands for the basic surgical operation instruments, and the exempted products are hooked needles, vasodilator, and scalp clip system, dermal curate. And the 6802 stands for the microsurgical operation instruments. So the O2 is all about the micro instruments like the micro needle holders, micro scissors, surgical racing needle, and micro retractors. The O3 is a neurologic surgical device, so it's all about the medical device, like the hand cranial jaw, the brain spatula, and the brain crater, and the nerve hook. And like the O5, it stands for the ENT surgical instrument. ENT is short for the ear, nose, and the throat. So like the nose scissors, rhinoscope, ear probe, and the acro clamp. Also, for the O7 is the thoracic and the cardiovascular surgical instrument. So it goes to the lung grasper, forceps, the mitral valve grip system, accessories, and the rib retractor. And we got the 6812. It's a gynecologic surgical operation instrument. So it goes for the vaginal jack hook and the intra-aortal Dr. blade. And so the 13 is for the family planning operation instrument. So it's talking about the device used within the family, and it's very tiny and very easy to control. Also, the 20 is a general examination equipment, like spring, percussion hammer, and the also makes examination lamp and the thermometer. As well as the 23 is medical ultrasound equipment and related equipment. So it's all about the ultrasound, like the vascular flow meter system and the ultrasound stereoscope. Also, the 24 is very popular, to talk about the medical laser equipment. Got the laser therapy machine and the laser knife and assistant reproduction laser system and laser skin therapy apparatus. Some of you may notice that the MAC device code are not continuous, just like the 6829. There was no this code, and that means there was no 6829 before this May. CFDA is going to supplement some not unified code gradually. So we can see from the 6834 it's jumped to the 6840. So we like the 35, 36, and CFDA is going to supplement them, and maybe in the future time. Also, we got the 13 stands for the medical X-ray equipment, also very popular, like X-ray, the machine X-ray absorptions, X-ray photographic equipment. 38 is high energy range equipment for medical, like the multi-cavity balloon cassette device and medical electron lighter accelerator. Also, the 34 stands for the protective equipment and the fixtures for medical radiation. We got the microwave protection products, protection device like protective screen, the ring protective chair, and the medical radiation gas supplies. Also, we still have a lot here from the 6841 to 6864. You can have a very quick look. We just read some, like the 63 is a dental material. I have to say it's very popular. We got a lot of the case in terms of the dental products, like the polishing paste. It's very useful and it's very normal in our daily life. Also, it's a dental separating agent, caries indicator, and also I see there's a 6846 also very popular. It's like implant materials and artificial organs. The products who are listed in the 6846 always is a Cas3 med device cause they are implant materials and always with a higher risk. Also, the artificial organs is like the artificial hearts, artificial stomach, artificial lungs, and artificial ears, nose, like that. And we keep going. Like it's very interesting. The 6870 is all about the software. We got the PACS. It's a very useful software system for the storage and the delivering of the information. It's got glucose data analysis software. Here we finished all medical device code, and currently, except above the category codes, others are all pertaining to non-medical device. After talking about how to recognize the CFDA category code, we can talk about how to read the CFDA registration license. And from this year, CFDA began to use the new license number. Like take this one for example. And the first character in Chinese, we read it as Guo, and it stands for the China. Also, we can stand for the CFDA. And on the fourth character is in Chinese, it read as Jing, so stands for the imported. So it's for the imported products. And this four characters stands for the approval year. And this one is very important. It stands for the classification level. So means this product is class 3 medical device. And 22 is the classification code, like we have talked just now. And the last four number is the register serial number. So now I think you can read all the CFDA license by yourself. So just keep in mind this one is very important. It's the class level. And this one is also very important. It's the category level. And this is the latest updates on CFDA classification regulations in 2015. CFDA totally issued 4 notices on classification results this year, and sum to 474 products have been classified. I listed 4 notice sorts here. If anyone is interested in this, you can visit them by yourself. Our team will include each update into our old catalog, so you can search our classification system to get this information. The system will be introduced later. Moreover, on July 14 this year, CFDA released the formal medical device classification criteria to replace the draft one. Our team also transferred it into our system. Part B. In Part B, we will talk about the classification process, classification catalog, and classification criterion, and how to apply the classification determination to NIFDC in this section. The NIFDC is short for the National Institute for Food and Drug Control. This figure streamlines the classification process for you. Typically, when you are going to find the classification of one product, it is supposed to look up the classification catalog first. The catalog was released by CFDA but without recent updates, and also sadly the CFDA catalog was in Chinese. So our team spent half a year to translate the catalog and collected all updates into our new catalog. It is really very cool. And there are a total 20 pages. Here is just a print screen of our catalog. And there are total 200 pages and 4,367 products listed in our catalog. And we list the category code and category name, product name, structural features, intended use, and the classification results in our catalog. We are pretty confident that you can find your device here. If anyone of you would like to get this catalog, you can just send us email. We can send this catalog to you for free. Also, you can to use the classification system to be introduced later. Oh, sorry. Go back. If you cannot match your device in the classification catalog, it turns very possible that your product has not been classified in China. Then you should use the classification criterion to classify your products. To start, you have to know whether your products. Okay, I got the Weber for this one. Like this one, yeah, it's a complete one. So first, you have to know whether your product is contact device or non-contact device. And then you should make sure is if your product is a passive device or active device. Afterwards, you should be aware of the intended for use. Is your device for the transportation, for the alteration of blood and body fluids, and for the general medical dressing, or for the allergic treatment? Last, you should match the description with use terms. Is it temporary use, or the short-term use, or the long-term use? Also, you should match it with the injuring condition, or match it with the impact condition. It's a non-impact, indirect impact. Also don't forget to match it with the risk condition. After all this done, you can decide your product's classification by the crossing the classification result. And anyway, it just seems kind of complicated to use this criteria table. Also, don't worry, access our classification system. It's very easily to use our system. Oh, here we go back to here. And it has to be pointed out that sometimes just for some novel device which are created by very new and innovative technicals, these devices are very possible not listed in the classification catalog, and neither can be determined from the classification criterion because it is very new. So in this case, you have to apply for the classification determination to NIFDC. And first submitting the application to Management Centers of Medical Device Standards. And usually we go two steps together. One is to determine whether your product is medical device or not. Sorry. And the other is to determine what the classification level of your medical device is: class 2, class 1, class 2, or class 3. And we should experience the technical advice of classification and audit by medical supervision and management authorities of CFDA. And after that, you will get your results to make sure it's your product's medical device or not, and to make sure what classification level of your medical device. To conclude the classification process, you can refer to this flowchart. If there are some medical device very similar with your products in China, then you can just look up to the classification catalog. It is very likely you can find your products in the catalog. Otherwise, you should refer to the classification criterion or apply for the classification determination. It's usually for some novel and innovative products. And anyway, you can find OK, and use our CMDRD database to get a very easy and a very quick result by using this method. So, to be very honest, I suggest you can use this way. And it's free, so don't need to pay anything. It's quite free. Oh, so next, okay, policy. In policy, we talk about how to handle when classification of your medical device is changed. In this section, we discuss one is a historic review of classification change of some medical device, and the two is the useful advance on when your classification is changed. This picture shows a milestone for medical device classification change in China. Just have a very quick look. On 2003, May 23, and that is a SARS period. It's a very terrible time. So in that time, the face mask is very important for either for the doctors or for the just peoples. So at that time, the classification of the face mask was changed from class 1 to class 2. It has to be managed at the higher risk level. And on 2006, April 11, the nanobiomaterials based medical device was changed from class 2 to class 3. And on 2007, July 8, the intestinal animosis clip was changed from class 3 to class 2. It's from the higher level to the lower level. And on 2010, September 7th, the calcium hydroxide catheter was changed from class 2 to class 3. And on it's the latest, just last year, September 15. Important. All sterile device and sanitary materials those contain disinfectant were changed from to at least class 2 med device. CFDA have modified the classification of class 1 med device and issued the catalog of class 1 med device on May 13, 2014. Any device not listed in this catalog will be considered as non-class 1 medical device. There are some devices deemed to be no longer managed as class 1 med device in China. They are sterile cotton swab, because it's a sterile materials. We have talked all the sterile med device will be changed to at least class 2 medical device. And also the sanitary swab containing disinfectant like alcohol, iodine tincture, or iodine. A surgical instrument used with endoscope. Orthopedic surgical instrument directly contact with intervertebral space when used. And collective packing products contain higher control level medical device. So, how to comply when your classification changed? First, determine the new classification of the device, and then check if it is complied with the new product's mandatory standard. And then submit to CFDA for classification determination via the online application system. And last, submit the new registration dossiers to CFDA and obtain the new license. Here are some useful advice when your classification is changed. When your classification changes from the higher level to lower level, then you just keep using your CFDA license, and your license can keep working. So you don't need to do anything. Just don't forget to do the renew when your license is going to be expiration. And then if your classification changes from class 1 to class 2 or class 3, then it should be a difficult. So first, applying for the new license within 6 months. And then you should conduct product testing in CFDA qualified labs. And then you may also, maybe, conduct clinical trial in CFDA qualified hospitals. And last, supplement additional submission package to CFDA. So if the change from class 1 to class 2 or 3 is the most difficult, and if it changes from class 2 to class 3, then just to check if it is compliant with the new product mandatory standards. And if yes, then nothing changed. Just apply for the new license and just give your last submission dossiers to CFDA. If your standards had been changed, then you should do the actual testing based on the changed standards. Also, there may be some classification change from medical device to non-medical device. Then, unfortunately, your license cannot keep working, and you have to apply for other license for products. Maybe it's a drug, or maybe food, or maybe cosmetics. Part 4. In this section, I will share with you our powerful database. It's very smart and user-friendly. So, what is CMDRD? CMDRD is short for the China Medical Device Regulatory Database, and it's an easy-to-use web-based regulatory database on med device in China. It enables users to determine the regulatory obligations under CFDA regulations for their med device, also for their in vitro diagnostic reagents, and get the solution to comply with it while using the CMDRD sub-database. It offers you to quick access to China med device classifications, regulations, standards, guidelines, and other important databases. CMDRD is consisted of 5 blocks. First is MDCSS, and second MDCS, MDRGD, MDSSS, MDRSC. It enables you to follow the CFDA issue tracker, classification, regulations, solutions, guidelines, standards, and our support. And when you use our CMDRD, you can get the benefits like to classify your med device, and to define the technical requirements for your products, determine the regulatory obligations, checking CFDA issues, get the practical advice on regulatory compliance, and supported by professional eye specialists online, and removing language and cultural barrier. This is okay. Also, CMDRD can help you based on your request. Like if you want to determine the classifications, then you use the MDCSS and use the MDCS. If you want to define the technical requirements, then you use the MDSSS. And you would like to determine the regulatory obligation in China, then check your med device regulations by using MDRGD. And to get our support, just use the MDRSC. So very clearly and very, very smart. This is a platform of med device classification search system and for the classification system. The search system enables you to determine the product name, classification codes, intended purpose, structural features, and the managing category. You just inputting the product name, category name, or category code. I will show you just a few minutes later. The MDCS is defined according to the latest med device classification criteria issued by CFDA. The classification should be determined by the combined judgment from 4 aspects: intended purpose, structural features, intended for use, and use descriptions. MDCS also provides initial assessment of your regulatory obligation under CFDA regulations. CIRS is constantly maintaining its rules to keep it up to date. Medical device regulations and guidance database contains the relevant med device regulations, guidance, and related technical measures, and those are for search queries only. These are divided into the several types based on status from the market access, and can enable you to be aware of what is your legal obligations and practically know how to comply with safety regulations and the data requirements and the application doses. Also the implementation timeline and the deadline. The background of the regulations will list the revision history from the very beginning to the latest. Also the expert suggestion for the overseas applicant. Medical device standards search system contains the national standards, industrial standards, and technical guidelines on med device in China. The product technical requirements for med device shall be compliant according to the China-related national standards of medical product. It is the most important document for product safety and effectiveness evaluating the appendix of medical device registration certificate. And the China Med Device Regulatory Support Center provides comprehensive medical device regulatory support for overseas company to enter in China market. It is supported by our CRS Med Device Regulatory Consulting team. The MDRC's primary mission is to provide the network or communication platform for all regulatory activities in China and enable you to access us directly. So, to access the CMDRD, you can just scan above the quick response code by your phone, or you can access the CMDRD by inputting our website. It's very easy to remember, cmdrd.sears-md.com, or you can access the CMD by navigating the main website. It's www.sears-md.com. Okay, we just have a very short show of how to use the CMDRD. Okay, here we go. Logging a very smart database, and more important, it's free, totally free. Okay. So what's going on? Oh, what's going on with? Okay, here we go. First is we know is MDCSS and also MDCS, just as we have talked. First, we choose the category code and choose the category name and the product name here. Just take example. You choose the product name. It's much easier to use this one, like hyaluronic acid is very popular product for women. Okay, the verification password WJQUB. Okay, go. Cool. You can see we got a total five products related with the hyaluronic acid, and we got the structural features and intended use, and some just very detailed description of the product. So you must have get the information of your product, and if you would like to get this information, just click it and then input your email here and then send email. Then you will get the automatic systemic respond to the email and to tell you what is the result of your product. Also, this is MDCS. It's based on the classification criteria. So this is very easy to use. Contacting and passive, and for dressing and temporary use. So get a result. Input the verification. Okay, here we go. So it shows the class 1 medical device. Also, you can get the result by inputting your email, and we will send you the automatic the result email. So very cool, isn't it? Also, we got the regulations. You can choose like based on the different insurance dates. Also, you can based on the registration, manufacturer, distribution, just anything you liked. Also, you can search for the very specific regulations. Like the number 650 is a guideline. It got the summary, it got the history, timeline, and the documents. It's very complete documents. And also for some documents, they may not be translated already, so we are keep doing to translate all the documents into the English. So you can find totally 50 English documents here. So we go to the standards. Yeah, so also you can find what you would like to know the standards choosing here the standard number or standard name. We got the number is 16886. It's about the biologic Fu5pH. Here we go. Cool, you can see we got the other 16886 series, all about the biological evaluation of medical device part. We got part 1 to part 20, all you can find here. And if you would like to have some of them, you have to input your request and comments here, and just to I need which part or I need all part, just input like this information to indicate what you want, and then input your email, then send us. We'll receive your request and just do as much as possible to you. Also, you can access support and you can request the support online and input your first name, last name, and some of the contact information, and just very detailed commands, like what maybe you want to just very specific question about the China med device regulations, and anything you would like to ask, you just input here and send it to us. So that is our very cool database, and there's a lot of to be taught, and you can just enjoy to use this by yourself. Okay. Okay, that's all about this presentation, and thank you very much for your attending. And if you have any questions, just feel free to us. You can send to my email and to maybe ask the presentation materials, and I will respond to you by tomorrow morning or tomorrow afternoon. Okay, thanks again for your attending, and you guys have a good day. Bye bye.